If aliens were silently observing humanity, they'd probably conclude our operating system was written by a committee of chaotic, drunken poets. Because nothing else explains the beautifully bizarre logic behind the things we do. We're about to tour the planet's most baffling, hilarious, and sometimes terrifying traditions that are still happening right now. These aren't dusty relics from a history book. They are living, breathing rituals that prove humans are, and always will be, gloriously weird. 1. Imagine you've just had a baby. Your top priority is safety, right? Well, in the Spanish village of Castrillo de Murcia, the best way to protect your newborn from evil involves a grown man dressed as the devil, literally jumping over them. This tradition, El Kalacho, sees rows of infants placed on mattresses in the street, while men in terrifying yellow and red demon costumes hurtle over them. The idea is that the devil absorbs the baby's sins as he passes. It's a 400-year-old act of faith that probably gives insurance adjusters a collective, screaming heart attack. 2. If you ever find yourself in Kawasaki, Japan, during the spring, don't be alarmed if you see a parade float shaped like a giant pink penis. Welcome to the Kawasaki Matsuri, or Festival of the Steel Phallus. It's a citywide celebration of fertility and joy, complete with phallic-shaped lollipops, carved radishes, and massive, revered shrines. Its origins are surprisingly noble, started by prostitutes praying for protection from disease. Now, it's a major fundraiser for HIV research. Who knew a parade of giant sacred genitalia could be so wonderfully progressive? 3. Most cultures see a cemetery as a final resting place. But for the Malagasy people of Madagascar, it's more of a waiting room. During a festival known as Famadihana, or the turning of the bones, families head to their ancestral crypts, exhume the bodies of their loved ones, and rewrap them in fresh silk. Then, they dance with the corpses to live music and share family news, celebrating with them as honored guests. It's a profound family reunion that gives a whole new, very literal meaning to the phrase, digging up old relatives at a party. 4. Imagine a stadium packed with 10,000 men. Now, imagine they're all wearing nothing but a traditional Japanese loincloth. This isn't a misplaced casting call. It's the Kawasaki Matsuri, or Naked Festival. In the dead of winter, a priest throws one or two small sacred sticks, called shingi, into the crowd. What follows is a chaotic, sweaty, and borderline dangerous scrum of humanity, as every man fights to be the one who grabs them. Whoever emerges with a stick is guaranteed a year of happiness. Everyone else just gets the unique experience of being pressed against 9,999 other sweaty dudes. It's basically Black Friday, but somehow with more dignity. 5. Think of the most painful thing you've ever experienced. A broken bone? A wasp sting? Now, allow me to introduce the bullet ant. Its sting is ranked as the most painful on the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, described as pure, intense, brilliant pain. For the Sadare Mawe people of the Amazon, their rite of passage for young men isn't a test or a speech. It's a pair of gloves, woven from leaves and filled with dozens of these living nightmares. A boy must wear them for 10 minutes while dancing, and he has to do it 20 times to be considered a man. Suddenly, taking out the trash to prove you're responsible doesn't seem so bad, does it? 6. La Tomatina in Spain is what happens when a food fight gains sentience and decides to run for mayor. For one glorious hour, the town of Buñol becomes the epicenter of the world's largest tomato-based war. Over 100 metric tons of overripe tomatoes are trucked in for the sole purpose of being hurled with joyous abandon at friends and strangers alike. The aftermath leaves the streets looking like the world's largest, most aggressive gazpacho. It's the only time when being covered head to toe in vegetable pulp means you've had a truly great day. 7. In Lopburi, Thailand, they throw a party for the local monkeys, and it's more lavish than most human weddings. The Monkey Buffet Festival is a massive, open-air feast designed to thank the town's macaque population for being a tourist attraction. We're talking tables piled high with pyramids of fruit, mountains of vegetables, and even cans of soda. The monkeys descend in a wave of furry chaos, feasting like kings. It's a sticky, delightful thank you note, and perhaps the only buffet in the world where the guests are encouraged to throw food and swing from the light fixtures. 8. Getting married is stressful. So in Germany, they have a pre-wedding tradition called Purlerend that doubles as couples therapy and a major chore. The night before the wedding, friends and family gather to smash enormous piles of porcelain, plates, bowls, sinks, even toilets, at the couple's feet to scare off evil spirits. The best part? The happy couple must then clean up the entire mountain of ceramic shrapnel together. It's a brilliant way to test a relationship. If you can survive cleaning up a literal garbage dump you created before the wedding, you can probably survive anything. 9. The Hindu festival of Thaipusam is one of the most staggering displays of devotion on earth. To honor the god of war, Murugan, devotees enter a trance-like state and pierce their bodies with skewers, lances, and elaborate hooks. Some carry massive, ornate structures called kavadi that are anchored directly to their skin. The truly mind-bending part? They often report feeling no pain and shedding little to no blood, believing their faith is a literal shield. It's a powerful reminder that for some, faith isn't a feeling, it's a physical force. Meanwhile, some of us can barely handle a paper cut. 10. How do you mark the end of a massive nationwide party? With a funeral for a fish. In Spain, the Entierro de la Sardina, or burial of the sardine, signals the end of carnival. People dress in full mourning attire, black veils, grim suits, and stage an elaborate mock funeral procession through the streets, weeping dramatically for a symbolic sardine in a tiny coffin. They then ceremoniously bury or burn the fishy effigy. It's the most theatrical way possible to say, "All right, everyone, fun's over, go home." And you thought your friend who kills the music was a buzzkill. 11. Most athletic competitions involve a ball, a finish line, or maybe a net. In Turkey, the national sport involves two very large men, leather trousers called kispet, and about a gallon of olive oil per person. Welcome to Kirkpinner oil wrestling, one of the oldest sporting events in the world. The goal is to get a grip on your opponent, a task made nearly impossible by the fact that both of you are slicker than a politician's promise. It's a grueling test of strength and technique, and presumably, the winner gets a trophy and the world's most challenging laundry bill. 12. In Finland, they've transformed a relationship test into a national sport, the wife-carrying world championships. The rules are simple. A man must carry a woman, not necessarily his own wife, the rules are progressive, through a 250-meter obstacle course. There are sand traps, fences, and even a water pit. The most popular carrying technique? The Estonian carry, where the woman hangs upside down on the man's back. The grand prize? The winner receives his wife's weight in beer. It's the only sport where winning means you can immediately drink away the memory of the back pain you just endured. 13. In the Tanah Toraja region of Indonesia, the line between life and death is less of a line and more of a friendly suggestion. When a person dies, they aren't considered truly dead. Instead, they are thought of as sick or sleeping. The family may keep the deceased's body in the house for months, or even years, caring for them, bringing them food, and speaking to them as if they're still there. It's a profound way to process grief, blurring the hard stop of mortality into a slow, gentle fade. It also means you might visit a friend for coffee and find their late grandfather sitting in the corner. 14. Every February 2nd, the entire United States, a global superpower with advanced satellite weather tracking systems, turns its attention to a small town in Pennsylvania. Why? To watch a groundhog emerge from a hole. According to legend, if the groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil, sees his shadow, it means 6 more weeks of winter. If not, spring is coming early. A group of men in top hats and tuxedos then interpret the groundhog's reaction for the nation. We literally outsource our national meteorological forecast to a rodent with stage fright, and we do it every single year. 15. This next tradition comes with a content warning for your taste buds. In Sardinia, Italy, there is a cherished cheese called Kasu Marzu. It's a pecorino cheese that achieves its unique, soft texture through a very specific process. It is intentionally infested with the live larvae of the cheesefly. That's right, it's cheese full of tiny writhing maggots. When you eat it, you have to cover it with your hand because the larvae can jump up to 6 inches. It's considered a delicacy, a testament to culinary bravery, and a definitive sign that you have absolutely nothing left to fear in this world. 16. While most places celebrate the New Year with fireworks, the town of Lerwick in Scotland's Shetland Islands prefers something a bit more Viking. Upheli is a fire festival of epic proportions. A volunteer Jarl, or Viking chief, leads a procession of 1,000 men dressed as Vikings, all carrying massive flaming torches. Their destination? A full-size hand-built Viking longship. The parade culminates in all 1,000 torches being thrown into the ship, engulfing it in a magnificent, terrifying inferno. It's a stunning reminder that the best way to start a new year is by burning the old one to the ground. 17. When you were a kid, you were probably told to be good or Santa Claus wouldn't bring you presents. In parts of Germany and for the Pennsylvania Dutch in America, the threat was much more immediate. Meet Bellnickl, Santa's terrifying fur-clad cousin. Bellnickl doesn't just check a list. He shows up at your door before Christmas with a switch in his hand to beat the naughty children and candy in his pocket for the good ones. He makes kids recite poems or sing songs before deciding their fate. It's an effective, if slightly traumatic way to ensure good behavior. 18. Have a lingering grudge with your neighbor? Did a friend owe you money all year? In the remote Peruvian Andes, they have a solution for that, and it's called Takanakui. Every year on December 25th, members of the community gather to settle their disputes the old-fashioned way, with a public fistfight. Men, women, and even children can challenge someone to a brawl, with local officials circling the fight to make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. After the fight, everyone shakes hands, shares a drink, and starts the new year with a clean slate, and, occasionally, a black eye. Merry Christmas. 19. For centuries, the dominant Western beauty standard has been a bright white smile. But in many parts of Asia, particularly in pre-modern Japan, the opposite was true. The tradition of Ohuro involved dyeing one's teeth completely black. Using an iron-based liquid, married women and aristocrats would painstakingly blacken their teeth, a practice that was seen as a mark of beauty, maturity, and civilization. It also happened to help prevent tooth decay. It's a striking reminder that our definitions of beauty are just stories we tell ourselves, and they can change as dramatically as night and day. 20. In Oaxaca, Mexico, they have a festival that is a masterpiece of artistic talent and agricultural absurdity. It's called La Noche de Rábanos, the Night of the Radishes. For one night only, a town square is filled with the most elaborate, intricate sculptures you've ever seen, all carved from giant radishes. There are nativity scenes, historical reenactments, and fantastical creatures. The catch? The sculptures are only good for a few hours before they wilt. It's a breathtaking display of temporary art and a powerful lesson in creating something beautiful for its own sake, even if it's made from a salad ingredient. 21. In parts of rural India, especially in the state of Maharashtra, there's a tradition that combines extreme faith with a serious lack of concern for gravity. It's called baby tossing. Yes, you read that correctly. Newborn babies are taken to the top of a 30-foot temple or shrine and dropped over the side, where a group of men wait below to catch them in a stretched sheet. The ritual is believed to bring the child good luck, health, and intelligence. While it's been practiced for centuries, it's also one of the most controversial traditions on this list. It raises a simple, if terrifying, question. How much do you have to trust your neighbors? 22. If you ever find yourself invited to a wedding of the Taidong people in Borneo, maybe skip the open bar. Because for the bride and groom, there's a unique post-nuptial rule they must follow for 3 days and 3 nights. They are absolutely forbidden from using the bathroom. No peeing, no pooping, nothing. The couple is kept under constant watch by family members and given minimal food and water to help them endure the ordeal. The belief is that this practice will lead to a long, happy, and fertile marriage, free from bad luck. It's the ultimate test of bladder control and a surefire way to make sure your first few days as a married couple are truly unforgettable. 23. In Japan, the art of competitive crying has an entire festival dedicated to it. Known as Naki Sumo, two massive sumo wrestlers each hold a baby in their arms and try to make their baby cry before the other. They roar, make scary faces, and gently jostle the babies in the ring until one of them wails. The winner is the baby who cries the loudest and longest, as it's believed that a strong cry scares away demons and ensures good health. It's the rare competition where the audience cheers for tears, and quiet babies are considered the losers. 24. Most people mourn their loved ones with flowers or quiet reflection. The Downy people of Papua, New Guinea, have a tradition that is far more visceral. When a family member dies, the women of the tribe have to endure an excruciating physical sacrifice to express their grief. A part of their finger, from the top knuckle up, is amputated. The practice, known as Ikipollen, is meant to symbolize the deep pain of loss and to appease ancestral spirits. A special string is tied tightly around the finger to numb it before it's cut off with an axe. This tradition is now banned, but you can still see many older women in the tribe with shortened fingers, a permanent, physical record of their grief. 25. In the Czech Republic, Easter Monday isn't about chocolate bunnies and egg hunts. It's about playfully whipping women with willow branches. It's a tradition called Pomlaska. Men and boys braid willow twigs into a special whip, decorate it with ribbons, and then go door to door, lightly whipping the legs of girls and women. This isn't an act of aggression. It's supposed to transfer the willow branch's vitality and fertility to the woman, keeping her healthy and beautiful for the next year. In return, the women give the men painted eggs or a shot of plum brandy. It's a bizarre spring fertility rite that looks suspiciously like a prank war. 26. The ancient city of Kyoto, Japan, is famous for its geishas, temples, and a very peculiar festival, the Naki Sumo, or Crying Baby Sumo. The goal of this contest is not to see which baby is strongest, but which one cries first. Two massive real-life sumo wrestlers stand in a ring, each holding a baby. They then make scary faces, loud noises, and gently jiggle the babies to try and make them cry. The first baby to wail is declared the winner. It's based on the belief that a powerful cry will ward off demons and ensure the baby grows up healthy. It's the only competition in the world where the losers are the happy, quiet ones. 27. For the Masai people of Kenya and Tanzania, a warrior's coming-of-age ceremony involves a tradition that's as impressive as it is intimidating: the spitting of blood. Specifically, they drink it. The ceremony, called Unoto, marks the transition of warriors from junior to senior status. A cow, considered sacred, is suffocated so as not to spill its blood on the ground. Its jugular is then pierced, and the warriors drink the blood directly from the animal, sometimes mixed with milk. This is believed to give them strength and courage. It's a powerful rite of passage that definitely isn't for the faint of heart. 28. Forget bobbing for apples. In the United Kingdom, they have a far more intense autumn tradition: tar barrel racing. In the town of Ottery St. Mary, residents, including children, soak wooden barrels in tar, set them on fire, and then run with them on their shoulders through the crowded streets. Why? The tradition is said to have started in the 17th century as a way to fumigate cottages or warn of the approaching Spanish Armada. Today, it's a thrilling, dangerous spectacle of fire and bravery. Health and safety officials must absolutely love this one. 29. Think your morning commute is bad? Try being a goat in the village of Yanjin, China. This town is built vertically on the side of a cliff, making it arguably the narrowest city in the world. The goats that live here have adapted in a truly remarkable way. They've become expert rock climbers, capable of scaling near vertical cliff faces to graze. Watching them effortlessly hop from one tiny ledge to another is like watching a real-life version of a video game. It's a stunning example of nature adapting to a human-made environment in the most extreme way possible. 30. In Scotland, a groom's last day of freedom is often marked by a tradition known as blackening. This is not a spa day. Friends of the groom capture him and cover him from head to toe in a foul mixture of soot, molasses, spoiled milk, rotten eggs, and anything else disgusting they can find. He is then paraded through the town, tied to a lamppost, or driven around in the back of a truck. The ritual is meant to ward off evil spirits before the wedding. The logic being, if you can endure this public humiliation, marriage will be a piece of cake. What do you think? Is this harmless fun or just plain cruel? Let us know in the comments. 31. When you compliment someone's child, what do you say? So cute! What beautiful eyes? Well, if you were in Greece, you might just spit at them. Not aggressively, but a gentle ftoo sound. This tradition, known as matiasma, is meant to ward off the evil eye, a curse believed to be cast by a jealous compliment or excessive praise. The act of spitting is considered a powerful protection against this bad luck. So if you see a Greek grandmother seemingly spitting in the direction of her own grandchild, she's not being rude. She's being a loving, magical bodyguard. 32. Here's a business model that sounds like a joke. In India, there are professional wedding crashers, but they're not there for the free food. They are the Aravani, a community of transgender women who are considered to bring good luck and fertility. They arrive at weddings, uninvited, and proceed to sing and dance until they are paid a fee by the groom's family. It's not extortion, it's a deeply ingrained cultural tradition. Paying the Aravani is seen as receiving a blessing for the new couple. It's a fascinating intersection of commerce, faith, and fabulous unannounced performances. 33. You've heard of Groundhog Day, but what about Goose Pulling Day? This brutal and now heavily modified tradition originated with Dutch settlers in the American South and parts of Europe. Historically, a live goose was greased and hung upside down from a wire. Men on horseback would then ride at full gallop and try to rip its head off. The winner was the one who succeeded. Thankfully, modern versions now use a dead goose, or a fake one. It's a stark reminder that what was once considered good, clean family fun would today get you arrested, and rightly so. 34. In the Philippines, Easter Sunday is celebrated with a tradition that's part devotion, part daredevil act. It's called salabong. Just before dawn, two processions meet in the town square, one with a statue of the Virgin Mary draped in a black veil, and another with the risen Christ. Then, a young girl dressed as an angel is lowered by ropes from a makeshift crane to remove Mary's veil. The crowd erupts in cheers as the sun rises, symbolizing joy and resurrection. It's beautiful, but when you're watching a child dangling over a sea of people at 6 a.m., you can't help but pray a little harder yourself. 35. In Spain, building human towers is a competitive sport. The tradition, called castells, is native to Catalonia and is a breathtaking display of teamwork and trust. Teams, or cols, compete to build the tallest and most complex human structures, sometimes reaching up to 10 stories high. The tower is only complete when a small child, the encineta, scrambles to the very top and raises one hand. The entire structure is built on a massive base of people, called the piña, who support the weight and act as a human safety net. It's a beautiful, nerve-wracking metaphor for community. 36. In Mongolia, wrestling isn't just a sport. It's a spiritual spectacle called buk. Wrestlers wear traditional outfits with an open chest, symbolizing honesty, and compete in massive outdoor tournaments watched by thousands. Before each bout, they perform a ritual dance called eagle dance, flapping their arms like wings to honor nature and their ancestors. Winning brings immense honor to your family. It's a powerful mix of brute strength, sacred ritual, and just a touch of flamboyant flair. Because nothing says dominance like pretending to be a bird before body slamming your opponent. 37. When you think of bullfighting, you think of Spain. But in Portugal, they have a version with a very different and arguably crazier finale. After the bull has been challenged by the matador on horseback, a team of 8 men, called the Forcados, enters the ring. Their job? To subdue the bull with their bare hands. They line up single file, and the front man taunts the bull into charging. His goal is to grab the bull's head, while the rest of the team piles on to immobilize the animal. It's a stunning act of coordinated high-stakes bravery that makes a game of tag look like a nap. 38. In the village of Tenganan in Bali, they settle disputes and test the manhood of young boys with a ritual known as pandan battle, or mekere-kere. Boys and young men face off in one-on-one duels, armed with small rattan shields and thorny pandan leaf whips. The goal is to whip and scratch your opponent. Blood is expected and is considered a sacred offering to the god of war. Despite the ritual combat, there are no hard feelings. After the duels, all wounds are treated with a traditional turmeric medicine, and the community celebrates together. It's organized fighting followed by mandatory friendship. 39. For the ultimate display of trust in a relationship, look no further than the Ansar Eguna, or Day of the Geese, in the Basque town of Lequitillo, Spain. A greased goose, historically live, now usually dead, is strung up on a rope over the harbor. Young men in boats then speed towards it, and one of them leaps up to grab the goose's neck. The rope is then raised and lowered, dunking the man in the water until he either falls off or succeeds in ripping the goose's head off. What makes this a relationship test? The people controlling the rope are often the man's own friends and future in-laws. No pressure. 40. Every year in Siena, Italy, the city's historic central square is transformed into a racetrack for one of the most dangerous horse races in the world, the Palio di Siena. 10 riders, representing 10 of the city's 17 districts, or Contrade, race bareback on mixed-breed horses for just 3 laps. The race itself lasts only about 90 seconds, but it's pure chaos. Jockeys are allowed to jostle, whip, and knock each other off their horses. The rivalry between Contrade is fierce, and the bragging rights for winning last a lifetime. It's a beautiful, brutal, and deeply passionate tradition that makes the Kentucky Derby look like a pony ride at a petting zoo. 41. In Denmark, if you're still single on your 25th birthday, your friends and family have a special gift for you, a public spice attack. They will ambush you, tie you to a lamppost or a chair, and then douse you from head to toe in cinnamon. It's a tradition that dates back to 16th century spice salesmen who traveled so much they often remained bachelors. And if you're still single at 30, they upgrade from cinnamon to pepper. It's a messy, fragrant, and slightly passive-aggressive way for your loved ones to say, "We love you, but please find someone." 42. Forget flowers and chocolates. On Valentine's Day in Wales, the traditional romantic gift is a spoon. But not just any spoon, it's a love spoon, an intricately carved wooden spoon decorated with symbols. A man would spend hours carving one to show a woman the extent of his affection and his skill as a craftsman. Different symbols have different meanings. A key means, "My house is yours." Wheels mean, "I will work for you." And a chain means, "We are linked forever." It's a far more personal and enduring symbol of love than a box of chocolates that will be gone in 5 minutes. 43. In Brazil, some indigenous communities have a tradition that sounds like it comes from a superhero origin story. To deal with the venomous bites of the giant leaf frog, they perform a ritual called Cambo. The frog's waxy secretion is collected and then applied to small burns made on a person's skin. The result is an immediate and violent physical reaction, intense vomiting, sweating, and an increased heart rate. Why would anyone do this? It's believed to be a powerful cleanse, purging the body of toxins, bad luck, and negative energy, leaving the person feeling renewed and strengthened. It's a hard reset for the human body, frog venom style. 44. Most people are happy to see the sun. In parts of Siberia, however, the Nenets reindeer herders have a festival dedicated to celebrating its return after months of polar night. But their celebration involves a sacrifice that's not for the squeamish. A reindeer is ritually sacrificed, and its fresh warm blood is drunk by the participants. The raw meat is then sliced up and eaten on the spot. This isn't done for shock value. In the harsh Arctic environment, the fresh blood and meat provide essential vitamins and nutrients that are otherwise impossible to get. It's a brutal, but vital, act of survival and communion. 45. In the state of Vermont, it is illegal to whistle underwater. Now, take a second to think about that. Try to imagine the series of events that would lead to a group of lawmakers sitting down and formally passing a law against the physical impossibility of whistling underwater. Did someone try? Did they almost succeed? Was there a bet involved? This isn't an ancient tradition, but a modern legal artifact that serves as a beautiful monument to human absurdity. It's a law that solves a problem that has never and will never exist. 46. In Thailand, the New Year's celebration, Songkran, is essentially a 3-day nationwide water fight. From April 13th to 15th, the entire country erupts in joyous chaos. People take to the streets armed with water guns, buckets, hoses, anything that can hold water, and douse everyone in sight. Tourists are not exempt. In fact, they're prime targets. The water symbolizes washing away the misfortunes of the past year and starting fresh. It's a beautiful, soaking wet, and incredibly fun way to welcome the new year, where the only rule is that nobody stays dry. 47. For the Shuar people of the Amazon, victory in battle wasn't complete until they performed a gruesome ritual, creating a tsansa, or shrunken head. After taking an enemy's head, they would meticulously peel back the skin, boil it, and fill it with hot stones and sand to shrink it down to the size of a fist, all while preserving the facial features. This wasn't just a trophy. It was believed to trap the enemy's soul, preventing it from taking revenge. The practice has been outlawed for decades, but it remains one of history's most chilling and fascinating examples of ritual warfare. 48. In Myanmar, there's a coming-of-age festival that transforms boys into princes, if only for a day. Called Shinbu, young boys are dressed in lavish silk, gold jewelry, and elaborate makeup to reenact the life of Buddha before he renounced his wealth. They parade through the streets on horseback or elephants, cheered by the entire community. Then, at the temple, they trade their finery for a simple monk's robe. It's a stunning visual metaphor for humility wrapped in a day of extravagant pageantry. And a rare occasion when little boys actually enjoy wearing makeup and jewelry. 49. The Buna Nut Festival in Queensland, Australia, is an ancient tradition for Indigenous Australians that happens only once every 3 years, when the bunya pine trees produce a massive crop of nuts. For thousands of years, different tribes, some of whom were enemies, would set aside their conflicts and travel for hundreds of miles to gather in peace. They would feast on the nuts, trade goods, arrange marriages, and hold ceremonies. It was a massive social and spiritual event dictated entirely by the life cycle of a tree. It's a beautiful example of nature itself, setting the schedule for human peace and community. 50. In the town of Ivrea, Italy, their version of carnival doesn't involve parades and beads. It involves organized civil war with oranges. The Battle of the Oranges is a massive 3-day food fight, reenacting a historic rebellion against a tyrant. Thousands of townspeople are divided into teams on foot, the commoners, who throw oranges at teams in horse-drawn carts, the tyrant's guards. We're talking 600 tons of oranges. People wear helmets, netting protects the buildings, and the aftermath looks like the world's largest juice factory exploded. It is a violent, chaotic, and sticky tribute to freedom. So, from babies being jumped over by devils to fistfights on Christmas, it's clear our species has never let a little thing like logic get in the way of a good tradition. These rituals aren't just weird quirks. They're the cultural DNA that makes us who we are. They show us what we fear, what we value, and how we celebrate. The most important question is, what tradition from your own culture would sound completely insane to an outsider? Seriously, think about it. Share the weirdest one from your hometown or country in the comments below. We want to hear it. And if you enjoyed this journey into global weirdness, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Okay, we've gone through 49 examples of humanity's beautiful, baffling, and sometimes terrifying ingenuity. Only one remains. But before we get to our final number, it's time for the final verdict. In our opinion, the award for the single most unbelievably wild tradition still practiced today has to go to the Sataramawe bullet ant initiation. Why? Because it's not symbolic. It's not a joke. It's a direct, measurable, and repeatable dose of what is scientifically ranked as the most excruciating pain a human can experience from an insect sting. And they do it 20 times. On purpose. Do you agree with our verdict? Or did another tradition deserve this questionable honor? Let us know in the comments what you think. And now, for our final number.